Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu5 and this is a review over the Microtech Ultratech Signature Series. This is the Microtech Ultratech 2 Signature Series. And this has the apocalyptic finish on the blade and pocket clip. And some of you may know that I had kind of a bitter attitude towards Microtech when I bought my last Microtech Ultratech. And the main issue with that is that with playing with it and using it, it vibrated loose. And, you know, I wasn't too happy with that. And then, you know, I had to buy in order to tighten it, I would have to buy a special bit to tighten it. And I didn't quite know where to get those bits at the moment. I think this is before Amazon really kicked off. Anyways, I decided to try Microtech again, and I'm much happier with this Microtech. It has not vibrated loose. The only thing that I think I like about the old Microtech that I had is it didn't have these cross beams across it, or rungs, like a ladder. And, you know, that'll provide you with a little bit more grip if you're holding it like this, but taking it in and out of the pocket is more difficult than I would like. Maybe if they just kept it stepped up here and not where the pocket clip is. But that's a small issue. It's not that big. The blade length is about 3.35 inches. When it comes to tactical EDC blades, that's a category I made up. I like 4 inches of blade length. But this is sufficient to do tactical tasks. It's just not ideal in my opinion. And one of the cool things about OTFs is that you can comfortably carry a double-edged knife in your pocket. If you're going to carry a double-edged knife, you'd have to do a fixed blade. And about the only advice I can really give about this is do not take it apart unless it's absolutely necessary. My brother was complaining that it was getting too difficult to deploy and retract. It didn't really seem that way to me, but he said since I first got it, it got more difficult. And I was like, oh, I'll take it apart and clean it. And getting it back together, holy cow, that was crazy difficult. Springs were popping everywhere. I lost the spring that goes under this switch, and it was not fun, and apparently it avoids the warranty. But Microtech never warranted their stuff that I experienced in the past anyways, so that's not that big of a deal. I will say this, with the Microtech Ultratech, it's not a good cutter. At least the double-edge Ultratech is not a good cutter. It has Bodor M390 steel, which is a good steel, but I think because of the double-edge grind, it's just not the best cutter. You can cut with it, and you can open up packages and letters and stuff. And I have a meat cut test where I actually cut meat with this. And in that same video, you see it cut meat, and you see it fail to cut meat with clothes on it. And that's a little bit worrying. But I feel with a double-edged knife like this, it's very slender and stuff, that it's mostly going to be a thrusting-oriented knife and not like a, slashing knife. And it does very good at thrusting. If you're going to do more of a point-oriented fighting style, I would say, yeah, this is a cool knife. It does have a different glass breaker on it, or skull crusher. You can see that has a little ball at the end. And I haven't tested this out, mostly because every time I do a glass breaking video, people complain. The audience complains that it's too easy because I use a Mexican Coke bottle. The companies complain that it's too difficult because I'm using a Mexican Coke bottle. So it's like, I'm getting told off at both ends. So I just, I might do a glass breaking video. But just know, I don't have a lot of vehicles I can just break glass with. So usually when I do a glass breaking thing, I grab it and I hold it with 2 fingers and I tap it. And I slowly increase the force until it breaks. So I think that is a sufficient test for a glass breaker. No need for me to bust out my personal vehicle windows for that. Now, a big downside to the OTF, like I said, the main reason you're getting an OTF is because it's a safe way to carry a double-edged knife. But it is loud. So, like, if you're having to do some kind of century removal, or that's probably not going to happen. But something that does happen for civilians, someone's robbing a convenience store, and if you feel so inclined to intervene because you're in fear of the other person's life, you can sneak up and take the person out. I've seen that happen a few times on the internet. So that's something that can actually happen. And if you're in the military aspect, you might actually be taking out a sentry. This would be a bad knife to do that with because it's so loud. You would have to hold the guy, and as you're coming in, deploy it right before you get it in them. And if you put the knife up against the skin and then deploy it, it'll come off the tracks, and you would have to put it back on the tracks. So I just want to demonstrate something real quick. This is what the OTF sounds like. And this is, if you're going to be doing some tactical things, a better alternative. This is the Boker Applegate Fairbairn boot knife. A lot quieter. And then, if you feel so inclined to carry something in a little sheath with a snap, you can just check out how loud this is. So, most fixed blade options are going to be quieter than a OTF, and you don't even really like a double edge isn't necessary for century removal, but if you just want a double-edged knife, I'm just showing you the different options. The third option would be a balisong, which is not, you can safely carry it that way, but it's not really safe to deploy in that way. Unless you're pretty skilled, I can flip a double-edged butterfly knife. It's just not necessarily the funnest thing to do. But just keep that in mind. If you think you're going to have to take someone out by sneaking up on them, this is not the best knife to have. And like I said, I mentioned that if it comes off the track, you'll have to get it back on the track. So that's what happens when it comes off the track. And this sometimes happens when you put it up against a skin or a body and then push the deployment button. It'll come off the track. You can either just pull it back on the track, or you can sling it. It'll come back on the track. So that's how you fix that issue. And no, you cannot press it up against someone's chest and punch it through into their heart. That cannot happen. But that's it. That's the video. Great knife as far as what it's designed to do. And what is it designed to do? Well, one, it's designed to safely carry a double-edged knife. Two, is designed to be kind of fun. I really enjoy fidgeting with this, and I enjoy carrying it. And if you are so inclined to carry a double-edged knife in your pocket, this is possibly the best way to do it. It's just, I feel if you get the Combat Troubleshooting, it will cut better. And I want to get a Combat Troubleshooting Microtech. And I also want to get a single-edge Ultratech to test out if it will cut better. But I feel that the Combat Troubleshooting, having the broader blade, will have a much better time at cutting. So that's it. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm out.